Windows Control Panel was a really easy way to control a lot of things on your PC, especially for IT professionals. But Microsoft's 90% of the users, or more maybe, did not know how to dig into Control Panel to get to the settings they needed to go. So Microsoft removed the Control Panel entirely. I mean, it's there in the backend, but they replaced it with the Settings app. So in this video, we're going to take a tour of the Windows Settings app and what it can do without going to the Control Panel app. So let's get started. Alright, let's start by how to open the Settings app. There are a few ways. You can press Start and then go to Settings here. You can also type in Settings to get there, or you can right click the Start button and then click on Settings. Either way, you can only have one window open at the same time, unlike Control Panel, which used to allow multiple windows. The first option that we're going to look at is the most critical one, that is Windows Update, and how often the updates are downloaded and whether they're installed automatically. You can also pause updates from here. You can see there is a cumulative update available for my Windows 11. I can click on Download and Install. Only then it will install. There are a few advanced options here that you can turn on or off. If you want frequent updates, you can turn this setting on. You can check optional updates here, including drivers. There's that. If you are having problems, say with your Xbox wireless adapter for your gaming, or if your Bluetooth is not working properly, you can update the drivers here without going through your manufacturer's website. This is straight from Microsoft. You can also set your active hours. So currently mine are set to 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. So my PC will restart outside of those hours to install the updates. The last important option is recovery. This is where you can reset the PC if you're having problems with it. Maybe you've got massive amount of malware. You can click on Reset PC and do a cloud reinstall, or you can do an advanced startup to troubleshoot any problems. You can check out my videos on them just up there if you'd like. So those are all the Windows Update settings. Let's move into privacy and security. Here you can turn on and off Find My Device, encryption, Windows security. Here you can see whether there is any active virus threats on your PC. You can also check permissions for speech, general advertising stuff. You can also scroll down to disable camera access for certain applications. You can see all these apps have camera access, the ones that have toggle on. You can turn off blanket desktop app access by just clicking on this toggle if you want privacy. And you can do the same for any or all of these things. There's a good fine-tuned amount of control available from the privacy and security section. You can also go to searching Windows and do an index here. If you click on Enhanced, you can search your files faster across your entire PC. I generally leave it to Classic, which only searches documents, pictures, and music. There's that. You can also see the indexed amount and the pending amount. And here you can add any excluded folders that you don't want to appear in the search box. Let's jump onto accessibility. Here's where you can change your text size. So you can do it here. You can change your mouse pointer. If you have a touchscreen, you can enable or disable touch indicator, and a lot of other accessibility features such as magnifier. By the way, magnifier you can access by just pressing Windows++. So if I just press it here, there you go, works. You can look at all the other features that were there in the old Control Panel. They're just relocated here in accessibility. Now we jump onto gaming. There are three options here. This is probably the most important part for most people watching my channel. If you go to Xbox Game Bar, you want this turned off because Xbox Game Bar, if you're on a mid-range to a low-end PC, having this on will take resources from your CPU, which you don't want. Second option is capture save location. Yes, if you're using the aforementioned overlay, you want to leave this one and customize this one as you need. So video frame rate is set to 30 by default. You can have it 60 FPS if you want to capture butter smooth gameplay, but again, will depend on the hardware. And then you can enable a replay here, where when something cool happens in your game, just press Windows Alt G to capture the moment, which will save the last 30 seconds or something like that. And here you can set the video quality, which will adjust the bitrate. Go back and we go to game mode, and then make sure this is turned on. Some people recommend it turned off, but I've noticed that it doesn't make a huge difference, maybe 1%, but the FPS drops are significantly lower when this is left to on. Then we jump on to graphics settings, which is the last category up here. This is where you can assign which application will use which graphics cards if you have multiple ones. In my case, I've got a laptop with NVIDIA Optimus, and I've got Intel graphics as well as a 3060 laptop GPU. So right now Windows is deciding that Apex wants high performance, Armored Crate wants power saving, Forza wants high performance, stuff like that. But if you want to force an application, say CSGO, you want to play on Intel HD graphics, just press options and then select the graphics you want to use for that game or application. Alright, let's go to time and language now. Pretty straightforward. Here you can set your time and time zone, language and region, keyboard layout and stuff like that. Not really interesting, but it's there if you need it. Go to accounts. This is where my Microsoft account lives. Here you can set Windows Hello for fingerprint or facial recognition. All of this didn't used to exist in the regular control panel. It was kind of baked into a third-party software where you can set your fingerprint, but on Windows 11 it's all here. You can even have a security key. Another feature up here is dynamic lock. If you click this here, allow Windows to automatically lock your device when you're away. It will lock your PC when you're away for 15 minutes. So you can do that here. Very useful. You can also set or change your pin here. And let's jump into apps. This is where you uninstall any installed applications. You can see all of these apps are here. One thing to note here, if you're trying to free up space, you just click on sort by size. You can see all these games appear with a lot of storage being used that I can uninstall. And if you're looking for an app you accidentally installed recently, you can click on install date and then it will show up what was last updated. So you can see in my PC, Spotify was recently updated and NVIDIA graphics was updated yesterday. A video on which I made yesterday if you want to check it out up there as well. The other important option here is startup. So if you go here, you can see all the startup apps when your PC starts. If you recognize something that is not important, you may want to turn it off. For example, what is this initialize? I don't even know what that is. You can see ASUS Smart Display Control, ASUS Keyboard Hotkeys Program. All of this is important to me. Epic Games Launcher, Discord. If you find something that you don't want, just disable it by toggling it off. Lastly, if you want advanced optional features, such as just click on more Windows features and it will bring up a list where you can enable Windows Subsystem for Linux. You can enable Windows Hyper-V if you're on Windows 10 Pro. You can enable SMB 1.0 if you have a really old NAS or something like that. You can also use this Windows built-in one that has the same thing. So we're going to go back to apps. You can obviously configure default apps here. All you do is scroll down and search for an app, click on it, and you can set it as default by clicking up here. Previously, this option didn't used to exist, but now you can set it as default. All right, let's jump to personalization. This is where you can customize your wallpaper, your theme, your colors, lock screen, everything. So let's start with the top, background, set it to whatever you want. Right now I've set it to this. You can see a preview here. You can also change how to apply the wallpaper if you have a wider display or a multiple monitor setup. And you go to colors, you can choose the accent color. Mine is this default one. You can also have it on automatic depending on your wallpaper. You can also turn off show accent color on start and taskbar. Changes the color of the taskbar. Pretty handy if you like colorful windows like Windows 8 used to be. Themes. Here are some pre-built themes, but you can download more. I'll leave a link for some themes in the description below so you can download and try them out. Basically, themes are a mix of sound, some wallpapers, color scheme, so you don't have to go and manually apply each of them. And you can save your current theme by clicking save here and then name it whatever you want. Call it KBHD. The next important thing here is taskbar. If you are new to Windows 11, you might see a few extra icons up here, like so. You see all these icons. You don't want them, you just go to this section of the personalization and just turn them off so your taskbar looks clean. You can also set apps that have access to the corner overflow. So if you want Plex Media Server, for example, to show up here, down here, without clicking on this arrow, just turn it on. You can see Plex Media Servers here. Turn it off, it's gone. So you can do that on the corner overflow if you don't like a cluttered taskbar. Lastly, there's taskbar behavior. You can hide the taskbar if you like by clicking this, and you can do other stuff that is fairly obvious. But generally, the main thing here is if you want the center aligned taskbar or you want the default Windows 10 type taskbar, which is on the left. I prefer the center aligned because it looks cool. Last few settings are all system based. So network and internet jumps you into Wi-Fi, Ethernet, VPN and mobile hotspot. Now all of this will depend on whether you use Ethernet or not, but generally I'm using Ethernet here. So you can click on it, you can find out all the IP addresses and the running speed. So you can see mine is running at gigabit. My IP address is here. I can turn a mobile hotspot on. You can see this will be the name, this will be the password. If I turn it on, I can share my internet with nearby devices. You can also select where you want to share mobile hotspot through. So you can share over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Pretty handy if you're in a sticky situation. If you go to the bottom option here where it says advanced network settings, that's where all the network and sharing center stuff used to be. You can enable and disable networks through here without going into, remember this screen from Windows 7 and 10? It's still here, but it's hidden away behind a lot of stuff. So if you click here, you can get to this option. But if you really just want to customize a few things, you can rename the adapter, you can properties, you can edit the IP type, you can edit the DNS. So yeah, it has all been slowly merged into this Metro UI. You can also reset all your network to factory settings if you're having trouble, and then you can access Windows Firewall as well, which is also now a Windows 11 Microsoft Store type of app. Here you can see allow an app through firewall. That opens the old style firewall settings. Then we have Bluetooth settings. Pretty straightforward. Although Bluetooth is straightforward, there are a few other things that are here. You can see the cameras that are connected to the PC. I have a built-in camera here. You can go to mouse, you can change the speed, scroll, or the pointer speed. Mine is set to central. But one thing that is not here is mouse pointer acceleration. If you go to additional mouse settings, go to pointer options, and then disable this option if you're gaming because it will not help you aim. Enhance pointer precision. This is what you want disabled, and then your aim will be 10 times better. If you go to touchpad, here's where you can customize your gestures. So what the taps do, what the scroll does, 3-finger gestures. If I gesture up with 3 fingers, multitasking view, down will show desktop, left and right will switch application. 4 fingers, multitasking view, show desktop, switch desktop. So here, see, it's trying to switch desktop. If you want to customize these, you can go to advanced gestures and then select whatever you want. 4 fingers, you can get notification center, play, pause your music, middle mouse button, or do whatever you want. You can do even nothing. Lastly, there is USB options here. You can turn on or off USB battery saver, so you can see stop USB devices when my screen is off to help save battery. Connection notifications, if a USB device has a problem, it will notify you, and then also show a notification if this PC is charging slowly over USB. This is only helpful if you have an Ultrabook of some sort that has a USB-C charging port. Mine has a Thunderbolt 4 port, but it doesn't support charging over it. This option doesn't really matter. Lastly, let's look at the system. If you go to system, there is display, sound, notifications, all the basic stuff combined here. We'll start with activation. Here's where you can check which options will be available on your PC. So you can see mine is a Windows 11 Pro. Activation is active. If I go back, scroll down to see remote desktop, this will only be available on the Pro versions of Windows. You can see mine is turned on. You can also list people who can access this PC remotely. If you go to about, you'll see all the specifications of your PC. So if a tech guy is asking you what's your PC, you can just go to this page and just read out this up here. You can see mine is an Asus TUF Gaming F15, FX 506HM. Processor is this, RAM is this much. This is my operating system version, the edition that I'm running, installed on date. Everything that you need is in one single page. Then there's multitasking. This is what most people will use. So if you go here, what Alt tab will show. So it will say open Windows and 5 most recent tabs. You can open 4 tabs in Edge, open. If I Alt tab now, you can see all the tabs appear as Windows. If you don't want this, you can disable this option to select Windows only, or you can select fewer tabs. And then you can also enable or disable snap windows. So if you do this, it snaps to left, right, top right, top left, or maximize. If you don't want that to happen, you can disable this option. If you are having trouble with your network or something else, you can go to the troubleshoot option, go to other troubleshooters, and then select the option that is applicable to you. If you're having trouble with your internet, you can go to network adapter and hit run. If you're having trouble with your battery, try this option, and so on and so forth. Then we have power and battery. This option didn't used to exist in the control panel, the traditional one. Those operating systems weren't designed around mobile devices. You can see I've limited my battery to charge at 60% using the MyASUS app, so it's sitting at 60. But you can customize how fast my PC will sleep when plugged in and on battery, and how often will my screen turn off if I'm AFK. You can also turn on battery saver. One important setting as well is storage, and when you go to storage, you might want to turn on storage sense. When you turn that on, it will auto delete all the temporary files when you restart. Here you can see a breakdown of what's using your storage. You can see apps are using the most, and there's documents, there's temporary files, videos, and other. By the way, you can also customize your notifications for Windows 11 if you like notifications on Windows. Personally, I've always turned on Focus Assist. You can see I've set it to priority only, so I don't get any notification chimes and stuff like that. I check it manually by clicking here, and you can see I have the notification here. I can just click on here to see all of my notifications. You can also go to sound to change volume of your microphone or your speakers. Pretty straightforward this, nothing really here apart from the volume mixer, which you can go to, and you can customize volume for each of your applications. So I can customize the volume for my OBS, my Steam, and as you open the apps, they will start appearing here, and you can customize the volume and Windows will remember it. Lastly, let's look at the display settings. Here you can change the brightness of your monitor, turn on or off night light. The main thing is scaling and resolution. I always recommend using the recommended setting for your monitor. This is what you will change to adjust the text size or general scaling on your Windows. I'm okay with 100%, but if you go with Windows recommended one on a small screen, you might see everything is a bit jam-packed. Lastly, if you have a high refresh rate display, you can go to advanced display here and set the refresh rate as you need it. You can see I have an option here, dynamic refresh. I'm going to set it to that. And there you have it. That's all the settings in the new settings app of Windows 11. I'm not going to say it's well organized, it's just different from what it used to be. Like in the control panel, you can access it here. This is how it used to be, and everything was buried inside of these options. Instead of this, I think this is a bit more user-friendly for people who are looking, because the search actually works inside here, refresh rate, and then there you see this option, and you can just adjust the refresh rate. And yeah, this is the new settings app on Windows 11. If you have any questions or queries, let me know down in the comments below. And there you have it, guys. I hope this video wasn't too long for you guys to watch. That's basically everything that is useful in the Windows settings app to change, customize, personalize all the settings that you need on your Windows 11 device. Anyway, guys, smash that like button if this video helped you learn something new. Consider subscribing and dinging that notification bell just down there. Check out my other videos right up here. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.